Have you ever met someone who genuinely enjoyed hurting animals? My landlord warned me to take care of my dog's barking, or he'd take care of it himself. I thought it was a joke. Then I found the syringes. I was looking for my spare key in his office when I found this folder wedged between paint cans labeled noise complaints, resolved. The folder was stuffed with pet complaints, and every single one was stamped resolved in red ink. I saw Unit 3B cat yowling resolved, and remembered those missing cat flyers from 2 months ago. The next page showed Unit 2A excessive barking resolved, and I pictured the college kid crying when his golden retriever vanished. I flipped faster through the pages as every pet complaint matched an animal that had disappeared on the exact date marked resolved. My hands started shaking when I reached the last page with fresh ink that spelled out Unit 4C buddy excessive barking resolved tomorrow, and a handwritten note underneath 5 milliliter injection. Looking forward to the sounds. I dropped the folder just as footsteps echoed in the hallway, and my landlord appeared in the doorway saying, "Locked out again? I wanted to talk to you about your dog buddy anyway, so good timing." My throat went dry as I asked, "What about him?" He stepped closer and said, "The barking complaints." Several tenants mentioned it. He kept his voice calm and added, "Don't worry though, I can handle Buddy tomorrow morning while you're at work." Something in his tone made my skin crawl, so I grabbed the key and mumbled about training, desperate to get away from him. Back in my apartment, I couldn't sleep that night, and around 3 in the morning, I heard this low mechanical humming from somewhere in the building. I'd heard that sound before, but never connected it to anything until now. Buddy started pacing and whining, so I followed the sound into the hallway where it was coming from the basement. The basement door was slightly ajar with light and that sharp medicinal smell coming from underneath, so I pushed it open wider and went down the concrete steps as the humming got louder with each step. I found metal tables under bright fluorescent lights at the bottom, with rows of syringes lined up like surgical instruments and several large freezer units humming against the wall, and suddenly everything clicked, because this was the source of those sounds I've been hearing for months. Dozens of pet collars hung on hooks, each one organized by unit number like 3B, 2A, and 5C, and below each collar was a small card with timestamps, dosages, and handwritten notes that made me sick. Beautiful whimpering sounds. Legs kicked for 3 minutes. Perfect struggling. I turned to run, but I heard footsteps behind me, and the door slammed shut above us both as the lock clicked. My landlord stepped out of the shadows, smiling, and said, "I was wondering when you'd find my workshop." He gestured toward the wall of collars and said, "Every noise complaint permanently resolved." He picked up a syringe and held it up to the light as his eyes lit up, and he said, "Pentobarbital works beautifully. It's slow enough that I can really enjoy their reactions. The way they look at you when they realize what's happening." He got quieter and said, "The sounds they make are incredible." I pressed against the wall and said, "You're sick." He shook his head and said, "I'm thorough. Pet noise destroys property values, but honestly," his smile got wider as he said, "I'd do this for free. There's nothing quite like watching a big dog's legs start to give out while they're still trying to wag their tail." That's when I heard Buddy's claws on the stairs as he came running down toward us, tail wagging, drawn by my scent after I'd left him alone upstairs. My landlord looked excited when he saw Buddy and said, "Perfect timing. I've been looking forward to this one for weeks." He held up the syringe and said, "Big dogs make the most interesting sounds, and you get to watch."